Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Monday to you all. So today was a mixed bag in the miners, and well, Bitcoin's actually up today, but the miners had a mixed bag. I mean, they were pumping nicely in the morning, and then by later on, by the close of trading, they were mixed at that point. So we'll take a look at what happened there with those guys. We had some FUD come up from British Columbia as well, right, which kind of impacted IREN, I think, negatively today. And that was basically, from what I understand, was British Columbia said that AI data centers would have to pay or something like that, right? Some bogus thing. I don't think it's going to impact IREN because they're already operating in British Columbia as it is right now. But it is what it is. So a little FUD will obviously pull stocks down at that point. Miners in the after hours right now are still a little mixed right now as it is. We'll take a look at the miners sats metrics as far as what did you get for investing in the company, as far as how many stats you got per share, things like that. And we'll take a look at also Cleanspark getting a new hire, which then, kind of moves the train there full steam forward for them into the AI data center space as well, which I believe is a great thing there. The stock obviously did very well this morning, but didn't finish out as strong as I thought it was going to finish out. Nonetheless, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about also Cipher has an update for us for their quarterly results. That's going to be coming up here. And then we'll get into Q&A. Okay, as always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for anyone, only do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what happened with Bitcoin and the miners today, as well as what's going on here after hours right now. So if we look at the chart here, we can see that Bitcoin obviously had a really good day, had a nice bounce today even. It got below the 200 simple moving average, and then it bounced above it, closed nicely above it. It was up 1.74%, so we closed at 110,568.06 cents there. It was good. We're down a little bit here in the new day for Bitcoin here for Tuesday. We're down to 0.96% roughly or so. So a little profit taking happening there, I believe, on that one. Markets overall did have a pretty good day here. Dow Jones was up over 1%, and NASDAQ was up over 1%. S&P was up over 1%, and the Russell was up over almost 2% there as well. Excuse my sniffles here. Like I just recently, like within the last couple minutes, 10, not even that, 5 minutes, got a little bit of attack of allergies. Trying to battle through this. We'll get through this nonetheless, though. So there's Bitcoin here right now. So Bitcoin's looking pretty good here right now as it is. Ethereum was also down today a little bit. It was up, but it was down. It finished down just a little bit, 0.09%. That one's down a little bit here more. And the new day on it. Miners, like I said, were mixed here. Bitfarms had a really good day, got up to approximately, what was it? The high today was $5.41. And then things came down here. There was also a great interview by Kamasutra, Bitcoin Butcher, and somebody else there, I can't remember, on X this afternoon at 3 o'clock my time. Central time, I think it was 4 o'clock Eastern time. But that interview was really, really good. If you guys didn't get a chance to listen to it, definitely listen to it. It's like about an hour, 15 hour and a half long. But they go in through sites, their current convertible notes as well, and their potential going forward. I'm more bullish than I have been on Bitfarms, so that's a good sign. Definitely listen to it. The guys there did a great job of interviewing Ben. Ben did a fantastic job as well, answering all the questions. So definitely take a listen to that. It's well worth the time there to take a listen to that. All right. Next here, BitDeer was up 6.45% after being up much higher as well. And that one got to a high today of $26.81. Kango was up 4.83% today after being up much higher also. So like I said, a lot of these guys did really well in the morning, and then in the afternoon for some reason they were pulled back here. But they got to $4.51 on that one. Cipher was up nicely as well, 6.13% after being up much higher at that point. It got to $20.99. Cleanspark had quite a huge swing there. Finished out being up 4.48% after getting to approximately $22.69 on that one. CORZ was down today 1%. That one was up higher also. Hive was down 2.1% after being up higher at that point, over $6 there. Hut 8 was up 3.01% after getting to around $52 or so. And then IREN was also down today 2.47%. It got up to $63.70. I think the news from British Columbia there is what kind of spooked investors in IREN there. Mara was up 5.93% after being up much higher as well. That one was up to $22.09. So probably some profit taking happening here in a lot of these guys here. Riot also same thing. Was up 9.89% on the day. Wolf was up just a little bit, or down, sorry, a little bit, 0.57% on that one. And then the Bitcoin holding companies here had a pretty good day overall. MicroStrategy was up 2.3%. Galaxy was up 5.08%. Block was up 1.73%. Coin was up 2.31%. MetaPlanet was down 6.17% after being up Friday. Exodus was up 5.11%. Nexon was up 3.24%. Semler was up 2.03%. Phoenix was flat on the day. And GameStop was up 1.3%. Small miners here, if we look at those really quick here, quite a huge swings in those guys. Ania was up 2.59%. Argo, for some reason, was up 21.43% here. This is from October 6th. Yeah, we don't have anything new on them. So manipulation is happening there. The stock is being manipulated, I believe. DG Power got up to a new high here. It looks like it got up to $4.96. And then it came back down and closed at $4.53. Was up 17.66% on the day. That might be a new 52-week high for them. If not, yeah, it's definitely a 52-week high for sure. DMG here was up 4.58%. Mawson was up just a little bit, 3.07%. And Canon was up huge today, up 28%, getting to a high today of approximately $2.22. And it came back down a little bit, profit taking, I'm guessing. The Bitcoin ETF miners here had a good day as well. BitQ was up 3.18%. BKCH was up 4.59%. DAP was up 4.2%. And WGMI was up 2.64%. Ethereum holding companies had a pretty good day overall with Ethereum being down here. BMNR was up 7.92%. BitDigital was up 15.62% after being up much higher as well, getting to $4.55 there. On that one, BTCS was up a little bit, 0.46%. GAIN was up 2.94%. SBET was up 3.14%. And some of the other companies that we track here, American Bitcoin was up 7.38%, so a little bit of a bounce there on that one. Wi-Fi was up 5.72%. A nice bounce on that one also. Open was up 2.93%. Oracle, surprisingly, and Nibius were down. Oracle was down 4.85%. Nibius was down 3.91%. Soluna was down 10.63%. It's down in the after hours right now as it is also. Bakkt was down 1.15%. Fermi was down 5.96 after getting to a new low here, $24.10. Bounced back up a little bit after that. Okay, so there's that. Miners in the after hours right now. We can see BitDeer is up, down actually 0.12% here. We got Bitfarms being up just a little bit, 0.6. Basically, whatever was down is back up in the after hours. Cipher is up 0.75%. Cleanspark here is up 1.96%. Core is up 1.81%. Hive Digital is up 0.89%. Hut 8 is up 0.46%. IREN is down another 0.64%. Mara is up 0.24%. Riot is up just a little bit, 0.05%. TeraWolf is down 0.36%. And Soluna is, let's see, down another 0.51%. So a little bit down on that one. Okay, Bitcoin here for the month of October is only down 3.1%. So not too bad. We're kind of catching back up here a little bit, which is good to see that. We want it to go obviously in the green. We have about 2 weeks left. We'll see if it does that or not. Not even that. We have like a week and a half. I mean, it's already October 20th here. So we got basically a week and a half left to go. And that, we'll see if we can squeak out a green month here for Bitcoin in October. Bitcoin ETF inflows, we had a positive day so far. We'll see where BlackRock comes in, but so far 60.3 million inflows into Bitcoin ETFs there. And that's about it. So let's get into some of the news that we do have here. Cipher is going to be announcing their Q3 results on Monday, November 3rd. They will also host a conference call and webcast that day at 8 a.m. Eastern time, so 7 o'clock my time. Let's see if I can listen in on that one as well. Definitely looking forward to that conference call to see what they say about going forward, future sites and all that stuff. Definitely looking forward to that. And then finally, the big story that we have here today is, went too far up. Cleanspark announces business evolution from pure play Bitcoin miner to include AI compute, hires industry veteran Jeffrey Thomas as Senior Vice President of AI Data Centers here. So today the company announced appointment of Jeffrey Thomas as Senior Vice President of AI Data Centers. Thomas brings over 4 decades of global experience in emerging technologies and data center infrastructure development as Cleanspark positions itself for its next phase of growth here. So that's awesome to see here. Obviously, the stock ran on that here in the morning at least. Gave back some of those gains in the afternoon, but it still was up. As Senior Vice President of AI Data Centers, Mr. Thomas will lead Cleanspark's strategy to expand beyond Bitcoin mining by developing and operating advanced AI data centers infrastructure. This strategic evolution will diversify companies' revenue streams, strengthen long-term cash flow potential, and enhance its ability to Let's see, serve the world's leading technology companies. All right. So that's all great there. Mr. Thomas is a globally recognized entrepreneur, advisor, and executive with extensive leadership experience spanning the United Kingdom, United States, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Over his career, he has led or participated in 19 ventures that have created more than $12 billion in shareholder value. Thomas joins Cleanspark from his role as president of AI data centers at Humane, where he spearheaded the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's multi-billion AI data center program, assembling world-class teams, building strategic partnerships with hyperscalers and global technology firms, and advanced sovereign compute initiatives. So definitely good background there on Mr. Thomas. Going down here, Cleanspark is at a pivotal moment in its journey, said Jeffrey Thomas, Senior Vice President of AI Data Centers. The company has already established itself as a leader in large-scale Bitcoin mining, and I look forward to building on this foundation by expanding into next-generation digital infrastructure. Together, we have tremendous opportunity to deliver exceptional solutions for our customers while creating long-term value for shareholders and positioning Cleanspark at the center of the AI and intelligence computing revolution. So definitely a pretty strong statement there. And then we have been reviewing the entire portfolio from first principles to evaluate AI suitability, and have identified Georgia as a strategic region for both potential conversion as well as expansion, said Scott Garrison, Chief Development Officer and Executive Vice President. Right, I've talked about their Georgia locations ad nauseum, it seems like, but those are really well positioned geographically because you have a large metropolitan area nearby, close to Georgia as well. Georgia is also kind of a little bit of a tech hub there as well. So that positions them pretty well in that geographic area, I guess. Let's see here. We recently contracted for additional power and real estate in College Park to deliver high-value compute to the greater Atlanta metro area, and are evaluating giga campus opportunities across the portfolio and pipeline that are well positioned to satisfy significant off-taker demand. With Jeff on board, we are ready to rapidly scale and continue maximizing the value of our growing power and land footprint. So that's awesome to hear as well. Again, that is why the stock ran today, in the morning at least. Like I said, give up some of those gains here in the afternoon, but brighter skies are ahead for Cleanspark, I believe, going forward here. They are taking the right steps, getting into AI as well, building data centers. Getting the expertise there is key. Having somebody that knows what they're doing is key. Obviously, you can learn this stuff, but it's better to hire somebody that already knows all this stuff. So great job by Cleanspark here, building a team there that will obviously transition them not only from Bitcoin mining, but also into AI data centers as well going forward. I would like to just preface that I would like to see them go more towards being their own neo cloud, kind of similar to IREN, but we'll see what they come up with here on that. I think you get a little bit more of a premium if you go into being your own neo cloud. That's just my take. So we'll see which direction they go into. They could go both directions, right? They could become a neo cloud and do also co-location hosting or some things like that. All right, so that's great news there on that one. And let's get into really quick here. We're going to take a look at the miners here for September. What did your shares get as far as sats? And so this is the stats on miners. This was updated today here. We have the sats mined per share. So you can see how many sats you're getting per share if you're investing in any of these guys here right now as it is. Right now you're getting 348 sats per share in Kango, 230 in BitDeer, 224 in Cleanspark, Marathon 196, Hive 131, Riot 120, Cipher 57, and 52 for CORZ Scientific. IREN obviously did not report, so they are not in the list here. Well, they're still on the list, but they're at 0. And then when we look at the HODL sats per share, we can see that obviously you get the most out of Marathon there, 14,266 sats per share. Then you got Riot at 5,218, Cleanspark at 4,629, Kango at 3,279, followed by BitDeer at 1,031, CORZ Scientific at 390, and CORZ, questionable. I'm not even sure how much Bitcoin they hodl right now. Cipher 381, Hive 284, and IREN obviously always was at 0 anyways. When we look at the BTC per exahash efficiency on these guys for September here, we can see that BitDeer came in number 1 here with the most efficient operational, at least for the month of October, or September, sorry, at 1290, followed by Cleanspark at 1258, then Riot 1253, Kango 1233, Hive at 1230, Marathon at 1202, Cipher 1111, and CORZ at 8.94. IREN again has now reported. So that is it. That is all I got for you guys here today. We'll take a look at some other things as well during the week. some other stats on the miners, and Bitcoin as well. And we'll get through it all, and we'll see where we are. Okay, so that's it. Let's get into Q&A here. As always, if you guys could preface the question with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And let's get into it here. So let's see. I want to go here. That went there, I believe. Let me see here. I got to fix my output again. Bear with me just a second while I fix it. Video output to that seems to fix it. There we go. Okay, I can see what's going on here. As always, I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down on all the questions, comments, and things like that, and we will get through all of these going forward here. So first one we get is from SK. What price target do you see now for Cleanspark by end of year? I told him $35 to $45 I think is doable here by the end of the year. We just need to have continuation of good news as they advance towards AI data centers on that one. Morton, Friends Baker's IREN group is discussing the British Columbia development and its possible impact on IREN. What are your thoughts on it so far? I replied in the comments already on that one. Basically, I think, IREN's already in there. I don't think it's going to be an impact for them. But anybody else that's new to trying to get in there, that might be an impact for them, right? That they kind of have to buy their rate into it at that point to get megawatts for it. Morton continues on here. Franz said that he has spoken with IREN Investor Relations, and they approved him stating in his group that the company does not expect any impact on existing operations or future AI cloud build-out in Prince George, which is kind of what I thought, right? Somebody that's already in there, they're not going to be impacted by it. So that's great news there. On that one, all right, AAQ14. What do you think of Ben's interview today? I thought it was great. I thought he did a fantastic job there. Right, I've been a strong proponent of Ben ever since they were looking for a new CEO. If you guys remember last year, we did quite a lot to try to get him hired on X and things like that. We were pushing for Ben to get in there. Ben's a very, very smart guy there. I think he's doing all the right things here right now. I'm extremely happy that I held on to the shares that I did. I would have had, 2/3 more if I didn't sell them. But at that point, I also bought more IREN and Cleanspark shares, which have also done fantastically well for me. So I'm not, too worried about that. But yeah, he's done a fantastic job. As far as will Bitfarms reach $10 before the end of the year, maybe sometime in 2026 instead. They got to $5, almost $6 here. I think they got to $6 even just a week ago. I think it's still possible for them. Obviously, good news will help tremendously here. So if we get any news from them on their build out, everything else, Ben did state on the interview today that they have now around $1 billion in basically cash after doing convertible notes, the Bitcoin that they hodl, and just cash that they had on hand before. So they are in a very, very, very good position to be able to build out a data center that they see fit there. And there's a lot more details in that interview. So definitely watch that interview, or listen to that interview on X and company there. Okay, DGHI, please data and list over DATs, digital assets, treasury, which coins, how many takers, future growth plans, etc. I'm working on that. That is in the pipeline there. RS1, British Columbia is curbing energy use for AI and stopping Bitcoin mining. Not looking good for Bitfarms in Quebec. Well, they could maybe use that for AI. It could be used, right? They could be possibly converted over to that. So I'm not too worried about that. Keith says, Udemy and Sebastian, unequaled integrity. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. X. Sebastian, doing good. How are you? Let's see here. Guy, my son loves your channel. He waits for your live stream. He's small and has no idea about stocks, but it's your style and personality which makes him watch. I appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. I try to make it as family friendly as possible because there's a lot of shows that I want to watch even with my own kids, my own sons, and they use the swear words in there and things like that. So I try to not do that. Also in my day-to-day life, I try to not use those swear words. I think there's words that can be used other than those. That's just me though. I don't have any ill will to people that do use swear words. I think they do have a purpose as well. They definitely provide a sense of frustration, emotion, things like that. They can be definitely used. I just choose not to. All right, Rob, question, why did the miners all sell off today? I was trying to figure that out today also on when I saw them coming down. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I didn't really see anything else going up except for the British Columbia stuff that came out, the news on that. I wonder if that had played a role in it. But then, why would Cleanspark go down as well in that, but still finish out in the green? Others also. I'm not sure what that was. Profit taking, I'm guessing. All right, Guy, what's your new price target? Let's see if this pops up. There it goes. What's your new price target for Cleanspark for this year after today's Cleanspark news? And also, what's your price target for Bitfarms? Cleanspark, like I said, is $35 to $45, I think, as long as they continue to provide good news updates towards their path to AI data centers. Same thing for Bitfarms. Bitfarms, I think, could possibly get to like $10 by the end of the year if they, provide good news updates as well. So that's kind of where I'll be looking. Ryan says, you rock, Seb. Bring in Mondays for the Seb Army. Appreciate that. Thank you. Carlisle, what's up? Monday, some Bitcoin are up, or some miners are up, some miners are down. That's one of those days again. Dragos, miners can't go up every day. I agree, right? We need up and down, up and down, up and down, but eventually in the long term, it's going to be higher from where we are. So, yeah. All right, Rob, do you have the link for that interview with Ben of Bitfarms? I should have it here. Let me see if I can pull this. Maybe we'll pull this up here right now. But maybe you guys can see it, or it's on my X. If you guys follow me on X, I reshared that link for it, so it should be there. Okay. All right, guy, do you still think it's nice price to take entry into Bitfarms at $5? Yeah, I mean, if they can do what Ben is thinking about doing, but again, this might be a longer term hold. So based on Ben's answers and comments today on the interview, I mean, they're working towards, 2028 and even possibly beyond that as well. Ben himself has stated that he has like 95% of basically the stocks that he owns in Bitfarms as it is right now. So he's heavily into Bitfarms and he believes in Bitfarms. Yeah, I think $5, and if they continue to build out and get gigawatt sites up and running, then the stock will definitely do pretty well going forward. So it might be a longer term play, right? Not financial advice, just a thought there. All right, SK question: do you think IREN is exhausted and people must be rotating out? Even Nibius is going down. That is a possibility. That's always a possibility, right? You have a lot of people that have benefited quite tremendously from the stock going up. I mean, to where it's at right now, it's huge. A lot of people are up tremendously, and a lot of people will not hold it that long, right? They got those huge gains, and they will actually sell out and rotate into something else that they think is more undervalued. So I think that's more of a short-term thinking than a long-term thinking, though. But people do it anyways, right? They're up 100%, 200%, 300%, whatever it might be. They'll take profits on it, move to something else, and then they try to do the same thing again. Which, right, it's not a bad way to do it, also. But it definitely requires more work at that point than just buying a company and holding it for a longer term period of time while the company itself does all the work, growing the company there. All right. See, talked about that. Mr. X, slow and steady is better than a bullish euphoria where everyone from the janitor to bag boy is all YOLOing in. Keep retailers guessing is better for the market, in my opinion. I would agree with you there, right? Yeah. I would rather have the 1%, 2% a day steady climbs than the 15, 20% gains and then the 40% pullbacks. So I'm with you on that. All right. Chris asks, what are your thoughts on CORZ if CoreWeave deal doesn't go through? Okay. So there's two options that happen at that point. One, CoreWeave will renegotiate a deal. All right. That's a possibility there. The other possibility is that if they don't renegotiate a deal, then I think CORZ will probably go on a run here. Right, they do have the megawatts and everything else that they need. They do have deals already in place with CoreWeave as well. Those deals are not going away for the next, what do they have, 10, 15 years. Deals locked in. Stock will probably be valued more on that at that point. The other option, that's if the deal doesn't go through, right? I was talking to my dad about it today. We were discussing whether or not he should sell before the vote is in, or, what should he do, right? Should he hold the shares that he has in CORZ? Should he wait until the sale goes through and then get CoreWeave shares and then that one goes up? And, that's a tough one because you don't know what CoreWeave is going to do. I mean, CoreWeave obviously is massive right now, right? Much larger than CoreWeave or Core Scientific is. But my thinking is on this, there's institutions that are invested not only in Core Scientific, but also in CoreWeave. Their thought process might be because CoreWeave is already a bigger player in the space that they are going to push the deal through regardless, right? They probably own a heck of a lot more shares than retail does. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out and if it goes through or not. My thinking right now is that the deal goes through because of those institutions that are in play right there, right? So if you have institution A that owns also CoreWeave and owns Core Scientific, they can see potentially more upside having shares there be in CoreWeave, and also CoreWeave having the megawatts, which then they're going to be saving, what is it, 5 billion, 10 billion, whatever it is going to be. They're going to be saving over the term of the contract there. So I think the deal is going to go through. I could be wrong on that, but I think the deal is going to go through. I'll be surprised if it doesn't go through, to be honest with you there. All right, RS1, Bitfarms never met goals when they mine Bitcoin. Now they have 1 billion in recent secured debt for HPCI. What makes you think they will meet goals for that? Okay, well, listen to the interview there, because Ben actually went into that quite in detail as far as what transpired there and why they missed their goals. There was obviously some, I wouldn't say shenanigans, but Riot was part of the reasons, I think, for them not being able to reach their goals there, with trying to get financing or capital secured for the additional machines there. But in a way, it might have been a good thing for them. So listen to that, because Ben actually goes into it there. So that's actually really good. All right, Mr. X, what is the best miner to get into right now? Oh gosh, I still think Hive is undervalued from where it's at. Bitfarms is undervalued as well. Cleanspark also, BitDeer as well. Those are the ones I'll be looking at. Riot right now is a little questionable for me. It seems pretty well valued, at least right now. If they come up with a deal for somebody, then they could go up even higher at that point. But those are the ones I'll be looking at. Mara, I mean, Mara's not really, well, Mara's Mara. You guys know Mara. All right. Okay. Let's see. Daniel J says Rex will now preach AI. Well, he might preach it in private because we won't probably hear it from him on YouTube. Right. Rex is right now hired by Cleanspark. All right. John Kurtz question: Hive is down 17% from its high 5 days ago. They've had a great run. So would you wait for more of a pullback or buy tomorrow at 70% is a good discount? 70% is a good discount. I liked in the past, I like to buy in obviously red days, discount days. So this would be good. If you think they can do better going forward and still get you at least a 2x or something like that, then it might be a good time to buy in, right? I wouldn't say go in 100% into it, but pull the trigger a little bit, and then if it goes down a little bit more, pull the trigger on that at that point as well. They are, like I said, working on deals potentially with Canadian Bell or Canada Bell for AI, things like that. So that's going to be interesting there. We'll see how that all plays out. They also bought a site in Toronto for a data center that they're converting over into tier 3. So all those things should be, a good move forward for Hive there. All right. John Kurtz says, hit the thumbs up for the stud. I appreciate that. Thank you, John. Let's see. Mr. X says, I like Rex Finance. Is he still making YouTube videos? I don't think he is. I haven't seen anything new from him in a while since he obviously got hired on by Cleanspark there. All right. Sid, thank you so much for becoming a member. Daniel J says he's farming. Ben is farming for sure. Freedom, I'm out of the miners now. Was a wild ride since okay, so you're out completely. So you think that they're pretty much done for, or at least, or maybe you made such great gains that you don't have to worry about it anymore. In either case, congrats to you there. And thanks for coming in. Jacob, let's go. Cleanspark, Keith, Bitfarms. Would you think highest possible multiples this cycle? Thank you. Highest multiples possible. Then again, that would depend on how they build out their AI data centers and right, what kind of deals they get, things like that. I think it could definitely go up higher from where it's at right now, though. All right. Guy says, BTC looks weak. Do we need Bitcoin to help miners to run specifically Cleanspark, or it can run on AI news alone? It can run on AI news, but the news has to be substantive. They need to be able to actually build out something and get some kind of deals as well. You can run on news for a while. The street will give you some credit on that you're working towards that, and they'll give you, obviously a little bit of higher value on that. But then if you don't actually do something towards that and materialize it, then the street's going to definitely, kick you in the rear and spit on you at that point as well. So they got to execute. Victor, is it possible for Cipher to hit $30 before they announce business update November 3rd? What are your thoughts? I mean, I don't think so. For Cipher, at least not, unless they come up with a deal or something like that in the short term. Cipher right now is at $19.91. If it can break above the $22 range, right, which is right here, which we're not too far from it. If we can break that, then obviously we're going to be in uncharted territory again, and we could possibly run up here, but we just need obviously some good news from them. Either miner, I guess you could say, from any of the miners. If they come up with any good news, or if there's any positive news towards AI and things like that, then that will help the stock. So I mean, it's possible, but I don't know if it will happen here. We don't have too many days left in trading here, so we'll see where it goes on that one. But it's not far off. All right, back here. All right, John Kurtz. If the shutdown gets over soon and Trump and Xi strike a deal at the meeting on the 29th, Bitcoin will rally big time. That's my thought process as well. We need, those things to cool off. DeFi, with why the recent weakness in IREN price, Cipher has been outperforming. I get the cool off, but don't like seeing others run while this one is down. Well, today was the British Columbia news that came out for AI and Bitcoin as well. That didn't help the stock there, but that was all fun, I think, for them as well. Mr. X, how much hardware is needed to convert a miner computer into a HPC computer? How much hardware? Well, it's totally different hardware at that point. All right, you're talking about ASICs, which are prevalent for Bitcoin mining, and then HPC are GPUs, but they're specific GPUs for AI inference and things like that. So it's completely different. I mean, you're talking about one of those GPUs costing $30,000 compared to a Bitcoin miner costing $2,500. So that's the cost on that. Fairfax, profit taking. Yeah, a lot of profit taking happening for sure. Question from Victor. Do you think the business update for Cipher could be NeoCloud or New Deal? I'd love to see NeoCloud, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here. We'll obviously have to wait until they announce it October 3rd there, it looks like. All right. Let's see. Rob Wong says, I'm not on X, so can you post a link on that interview of Ben for the Bitfarms? Thanks. All right, give me a second here. Let me pull this up here on my other screen here that I have. Let's see here. Let me go to X. Let's see if I can find it really quick for you guys, and I'll post it in the chat here. Let me see here. Should be under my profile. Let's see here. All right, here it is. So if you're not on X, I don't know if you're going to be able to listen to this, but nonetheless, we'll give it a shot here. So I'll share this with you guys right now. Copy link. Going in here. All right, you guys should see this in the chat now. There's a link for it right there. All right, so hopefully that works for you, because it's definitely a great interview. All right, talked about that. Fairfax, question, do you have any opinion on this N? And what is N? I'm not sure what N is. Victor, I missed the news about British Columbia. What's that about? That is about... I just saw a quick glance on it today as well, so I didn't get too deep into it. But my understanding is that they're going to be, for new applicants that want to get into AI data centers or something like that, they're going to have to pay something, to pay a fee or something like that to get the megawatts. And I think they're trying to get rid of Bitcoin miners there as well, possibly. So that's just kind of what I quickly saw. If you just probably search British Columbia AI news or something like that, you'll probably pop up at that point. All right. All right. First, do you have an opinion on the deal Ionic Digital signed with N-Scale asking for Celsius Survivor? I did not see that, so I do not have any details on that one for you. I'm sorry. Rob, that former Amazon guy that Bitfarms hired, what was the purpose of doing so? Context, I think mostly context, experience as well. That's the main reason for that, I think. Right? He's got insight. So you need people like that. A lot of times it's people you know that can help you out the most, right? It's who you know, not what you know. All right, Mr. X, do you think smart money is manipulating BTC price whenever there is too much leverage? It looks like it right now. I mean, we've seen that obviously happen here throughout the last 18 months to 2 years roughly, right? Bitcoin goes up, it gets pulled back down a little bit here, and it goes up slowly here. All right. A Perfecto asks, have you sold anything yet? I have not. No, I'm still holding strong. I've still got everything that I had held before. I'm going to be holding on for a while here. Some of these guys, I'll probably sell a portion of it and still hold on for a little bit longer there, just to see where they run. All right. Danny Yar, do you think Bitfarms can provide substantial updates and news till the end of the year? They can, because they got the McGuire project financing in place, right? Ben said that they pulled $50 million of it already. They're playing another $50 million, and they're working with, was it M4, I think, or T4? I can't remember. Company there to help design the data centers and things like that. So they're also buying long lead items right now as it is. So if those come in, they can provide updates for that, how they're progressing. So I think there might be for that. All right. I talked about that one. Let's see, Mr. X, Sebastian, I feel you are riding the miners to the end. Is that the plan? I'm not going to ride them completely to the end because I don't know where the end's going to be. Eventually, I will take some profits there. It's going to be slow, though. I'm going to, slowly dollar cost average out of these things right now. As you guys know, I own Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Cipher, and IREN right now, and all of those are doing fantastically well here, and they all have fantastic growth plans going forward for AI as well. So if that narrative continues to stay with AI being a very positive thing that they're going into, we'll see where they go, and then where do they go from here and things like that. Do they pronounce? It'll depend, I guess, on what they announce as far as current growth, future growth, where they are within as time progresses there. So it'll depend on that. But right now, the plan is just to hold on for a little bit longer, probably till maybe the end of the year here, and then sell maybe a small portion, 5-10%, something like that, of my stake that I do have. But we'll see if that might change as well. All right. Let's see. Sarmelon, how big is the Cleanspark news in your opinion? 1 to 10? I would say it's like a 6 or 7, right? It's definitely a good news forward there. It gets them the expertise that they need. And somebody that's obviously got a lot of experience there as well. So I would say 6 or 7. I mean, that's great news. Okay. Victor, question. Trump made a new deal with Australia for rare minerals. Is it possible for the U.S. to get rare minerals from other countries and not depend on China? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, we get minerals from other places as well. The big thing is refining those minerals into the actual components that we need for rare earths, right? So that's the bottleneck there where China has a huge advantage over us. So we need to build out more refining capabilities here in the United States in order to have our own destiny at that point. But that's going to take a little bit of time, a couple of years at least, right? We do have one company that's operating here in the United States, I believe. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I've heard there's at least one. And that one's getting some, I think the U.S. government actually invested in them, if I'm not mistaken. So we need more of that as well. But we need to be dependent on, internally, right? We need to have that internally done, I believe. All right. Sicario, would the benefits be massive if Cleanspark acquired their own Neo Cloud? Thank you. Acquired? Or would they just build out their own Neo Cloud? Right, even if they acquired it, I mean, they have the capital to possibly do it, but you're talking about a smaller player there at that point. I think the better option would be to probably go their own Neo Cloud way. All right, Ryan's got a question here. If Bitcoin price tanks in the next few weeks, at what price level would the pain be too much and cause you to exit into cash? For me, Bitcoin I'm going to hold on, for another, probably 5-10 years, whatever it is. Bitcoin, I have no plans on selling that. The big question will be if Bitcoin does drop, will that also bring down the miners that are getting into AI? That's going to be the big question, right? So Bitcoin does, we can see already Bitcoin's not doing that great, but the miners are having huge performance gains already as it is on it. So if it takes, but that could be just one of those things where we're down again 30%. We saw that in the last 18 months, right? We had it twice where Bitcoin went down 30%, then bounced back up, went down 30%, then bounced back up. And the miners obviously got beat up because of it, but maybe this time's going to be different here. So we'll see. I'm not in any hurry to sell. I don't need to sell right now. Yes, there's great gains already in this. I would definitely hate to round trip this back down. But right now, I can, go halfway from where we are right now, at least 50% down, and still be in huge gains on these guys. So I'm not in any hurry to sell unless something major changes here. All right. Okay. Mr. X says, I heard today at Fox News mentioned Cleanspark going into HPCI. Did anyone hear about it? They've been praising Cleanspark on Fox Business, at least for, last 2 to 3 weeks or so. I've seen a couple clips from the hosts there talking about Cleanspark, and the one guy was saying Cleanspark should be like $37, $40, something like that. So I've seen that before as well. Kevin, are you optimistic on Cleanspark's pivot? Yes, I am. How long do you think until they come up with something concrete? Time is of the essence, so hopefully faster than later. But they do have, like I said, the great sites, pretty good sites, or maybe even great sites in by Atlanta, Georgia, right? Campus Park is, I think, one of them. they can retrofit that, convert that over into AI relatively quickly, because one of those sites was previously a data center site. So there's going to obviously be some retrofitting that needs to be done there, but it could be done in short order, I think. So we shall see. All right. Alim, are we coming to end of the cycle for Bitcoin or for the miners and AI? AI, definitely not. Bitcoin, I don't think so either yet. I think we're still going to have, 2026, 2027. Like I said before, I think this might be an extended cycle here, just the way Bitcoin's acting right now. Because historically, Bitcoin right now would be in a huge parabolic rise in value. And we're not seeing that for sure, right? Bitcoin's what, up 17% this year only? Whereas before, we'd be up much, much higher already. So I think we're just going to extend this out, prolong it even longer. All right. Victor, what miner has the most megawatt power apart from IREN? Cipher, BitDeer as well. I mean, Riot's got 1.7 gigawatts. Mara is about 1 something gigawatts. I'm trying to think who else. Bitfarms is working towards 1+ gigawatts. Cleanspark's at like 1 gigawatt right now, and then they're trying to get another 1.7 added onto that on top of it. So those are the ones that have the most right now. All right. Okay, Fairfax, can you explain how CIFRW works? How does a warrant work? Good question. I'm not in warrants, so I have no clue on how that one works. I'm sorry. There are probably members here, viewers that are watching right now, and in the comments that will be able to probably better explain this in greater detail than I can, for sure. Sorry about that. SK, will Cleanspark go down on dilution at 24? It's not that it will go down on dilution. It's that there's going to be shares diluted at that point, right? If there's enough people buying at that point, it can still plow through that, similar to what IREN did. IREN had similar economics as well when their convertible notes also were like $23. I can't remember exactly, $23, $22, whatever it was, that they had the dilution at that point, and the stock just broke right through it, right? So that doesn't mean it will have to go down at that point. It might hold it there for a little while, right? So there might be some sell pressure on it, but I think it's going to possibly go forward from there. All right, Rob, amongst Mara, IREN, Hive, Bitfarms, how would you rank them in terms of most efficient and profitable? For Bitcoin mining, IREN would be number 1. After that, you got probably Bitfarms and Hive kind of being tied together there a little bit. They're both very efficient in this things, and I'd put Mara last on that. All right, Steve, don't forget to smash the like button for Sebastian. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Ryan's got a question here. Why do you think the BTC price didn't just go to 102 to close the CME gap? What % chance do you think we will dip and close that gap before the parabolic rise runs true at alt season as no extended cycle? All right, so let's start with the first one here. Why do I think the price didn't just go down? A lot of people buying it at that point, right? If you have more buyers than sellers, it's not going to go down to that far. Let me see your BTC on the futures. Where do you, there is a little gap. I mean, we also have a little gap at like 91,000. Trying to see where you have that gap at 102,000 here on the CME futures here. I'm looking at this right now, so you guys can see it as well. Right, we do have a gap here at 91,775 roughly to a little bit over 92.57. So there's a gap there, right? Gaps don't have to be always filled. They definitely like to be filled here, but I'm not seeing a gap at 102. Where are you seeing a gap at 102 on it? I mean, it looks like everything got filled from here. We got filled. There's nothing that got filled. There was a gap here at 114 that obviously got filled here. So I don't see it on the CME futures there. Okay. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't see that. What else did you have here? What percentage chance do I think? I mean, since I don't see the gap here, I don't think it's going to happen at all there. Okay, Ryan. Okay, 92,000. So yeah, so that's the one that I'm seeing as well. So 92,000. Yeah, I don't think that one's going to be filled here, to be honest. I mean, there's gaps that we have in the past as well that never got filled, but for the most part, gaps like to get filled. We weren't too far off on the gap here. Like I said, it was only, what was it, $500, something like that, $750 of a gap there. Doesn't mean, I mean, let's see here. A 30% drop from the top here would be, where would that place us roughly? So we were at 126 something, more or less. 30% would get us down to, oh, it actually would fill us up in there. So that might actually happen here. 30% drop would get us down to 88,930. So we have seen those types of drops before. So that would fill it. All right. If we do go through that, then there's a possibility that we fill it. We saw this drop here. If you guys recall here, beginning of the year, we went down 32% here, right? In a matter of, what is that? 54 bars, so 77 days roughly, right? Within that, we also did the same thing here in 2024, where in March of 2024, and then we bottomed out here in August, which was about a 32% drop as well. So we have seen 1, 2 drop. Are we setting ourselves up for another drop to 32% and then continue to go up like we have here? Maybe. Who knows? That would definitely not be great. All right, now you got me worried. If we do go drop again, hopefully the miners at least stay up and they don't go down 50, 60, 7% like they did last time we went down from here to there. That would not be good. Okay. But I'll have to look more into that because that, yeah. Okay, I don't want to think about that right now. I want to think positive, happy thoughts. All right, let's go back here to Q&A. All right. See, Michael, isn't Bitcoin down and ETH both down in after hours? By what I see, that which miners still a buy, do you think? I still think Bitfarms, Hive, Cleanspark, BitDeer are a buy at these levels right now. That's just my opinion. I think those things can at least 2x from where they are right now. But not financial advice as always, right? You got to do your own research on that. Victor, Trump is going to extend the China deadline, government reopening, rate cuts. November could be a bullish month. Now, could be, right? We just don't know. All right, Rob, do you think there will be more of a drop for Hive, Bitfarms until the RSI is 30? Hive, Bitfarms until the RSI is 30. Let's see here. Let's take a look at both of those guys here really quick. Bitfarms, we'll pull this up on the chart. All right, RSI in the 30s, not necessarily. I mean, we had a dip here, right? Dipped a little bit below, got to about, what was it, 60 or so. Then it ran back up here. We've obviously had a dip here. We're now at 64 or so, roughly in the RSI. So it could still continue to run up here, right? Depending on the news that comes out and things like that. Hive probably will be in the same kind of boat there. Yeah, I mean, you see it run up, come back down, run back up, come back down the RSI, that is, and price as well. Then nice massive run up here, come back down to the same levels where we were prior to another run up here. So we could have another run up on these guys here as it is. Just from looking at the chart, just really quick on it without doing any further technical analysis on the chart. But just looking at the RSI, is a possibility, unless things break down for us in Bitcoin, miners, everything else, then we could be going down. Like Ryan said, we could possibly be filling 92,000 on Bitcoin, which would not be good. Short term at least. Long term, short term is going to be a buying opportunity, in my opinion, at that point. For longer term holding, right? That's kind of the way I would play it at that point. And if that does happen, then I might pause the basement build out and plow money into the miners again, if that happens. Because it's going to be definitely a good sale at that point. All right, let's see what else we got here. Talked about that. All right. Okay, Rob, thanks, Seb. I like your prediction on the price run up for Hive and Bitfarms. All right, yeah, thank you. Pretty conservative on them, I think. We'll see where they go. But other than that, I think we're all caught up to you guys' questions here, so we're going to call it a day. It's already almost 10:50 here, my time at least. Time to go to bed, get some sleep. Tomorrow's another day. We'll see what happens there. All right, Michael asks, how much cash does Hive have, if you know? Last we saw from them, we can look at the sheet that we have here for Hive, for our little cheat sheet for them. So let's go back here to the browser. And we can see here that at that point in Q1 that ended in June, their assets, they had cash, so they had 180 million in cash, total current assets. Total assets was 628 million. Current liabilities was 52, right? So take out the 180, so you're looking at what, 130, 120 some million at that point. So they're okay. They should be okay at this point, right? They shouldn't be bleeding cash at least. So I think they were fully funded to get to the 25 exahash as well. So that should have been all accounted for as well. But yeah, we should be good. All right, let's see if we got anything else. Talked about that. All right. We covered everything. All right. Greatly appreciate you guys coming in as always. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, bye.